Hello there. What is going on, everyone? The first wheel in the many wheels of annihilation are upon us. It is mounted General Grievous on the TSMEU-6 Wheel Bike. Yes, I said wheel. Why am I saying it that way? Because there's an H in there. It's like cool whip, but it's wheel bike. And we are going to unbox this thing. There is so many exciting things ahead for the Separatists when it comes to wheels, because we have recently seen the other wheel bikes as well, and they are special forces. And that means that this just has so much more enjoyability ahead. Here's the back of the box. We're going to be digging this thing open. Also, we have a lot of giveaways coming out in December, so make sure you guys are subscribed and leave a comment on this or one of my other videos, because we're doing the 12 Days of Life Day. 12 giveaways throughout the month of December. Yes, so that is a very exciting thing that's kicking off. We're going to get this guy unboxed. We're going to put him together. We're going to look at the cards. And, and one of my big things is, can we build him without Grievous on there? Can he kind of go on? Can we maybe swap him in and out, you know, and stuff like that? So those are some of the things I'm going to be looking at when I look at the model kit and as we put it together. That's going to do it. Let's just go ahead and dive right in. All right, so we've got the box open here. We've got our cardboard divider out. We've got cards. We've got our base. I think this is what I often like to refer to as the ATRT base. I forget how many millimeters that is. Is that a 65 millimeter base? I think that's, I don't know. I'm bad with millimeters, but that's the ATRT base, right? We've got the sprues here. We've got our rule sheet. Well, I say our rule sheet. It's not really. It's more like the credits sheet. It's got all of that information on here. A link to the, you go to atomicmassgames.com and you can get all of the instructions to assemble these. This one you might need some. And this is everybody who helped bring this game to us, or this expansion to us. Let's go ahead and take a look at the sprue here. We've got our basing piece right here, and this is probably an optional piece for the most part, but at the same time, this is also going to help you stand it up and kind of balance it, giving it lots of connectivity, because again, it may only have a couple of little points here, and you'll probably have a much easier time getting it on the base and having it secure if you do use this. What I can suggest is, if you're not wanting to have the basing piece on there, you can easily put basing material over top of this, and you can cover it up with mud and other stuff like that. I'll probably do something kind of similar, although some bits of this might still show through, because I like to do all kinds of different dirt and mud bases with grass and things like that. So we do have our Grievous head right here. We've got all kinds of different bits. We've got a staff. It was interesting what we have a staff on here, right? What are we doing with the staff on this guy? I'm gonna have to look at the build instructions. So we got different lightsaber arms. I think in the picture we do see 2 lightsaber arms right there. I don't know what we need the staff for. Maybe it's an option. You can build them with the staff instead of the lightsaber arms. That's kind of a cool thing. We have a couple of pieces here. So this is, these are probably some of the legs and stuff, because I think this thing can actually, if memory serves, it also does have some legs where it can come out and kind of gallop like a horse before doing all of that craziness. And so that's a fun thing. And then we got our little blaster cannons right here, and we've got the main body of the wheel bike here. This is a very cool one. I also play Age of Sigmar, and the Skaven have a wheel bike that's very, very similar to this. And so that it almost makes me want to put some rats kind of running on top of the thing. If there was if they had little loath cats or something like that, it'd be kind of cool to have him running on it as he's doing it, as he's getting his exercise or whatever. Or you could have them on the inside like they're propelling it, which would be kind of crazy. I don't know if I would go that far. I'll probably just build it as is. But when you have a big vehicle like that, it'll give you a lot of options for customizability, which is always very fun. Let's go ahead and look at the cards. All right, so we've got General Grievous out. This is also the back of his card. I grabbed one of the other language cards here. So we're going to get this one out too, and I'll just kind of set this this way. So this way we can kind of get the full picture of everything that you're going to get with this unit. So he has 150 points. He's not super cheap, right? But you're getting a lot here with him. He has armor 1. He's a climbing vehicle. He's a command vehicle 2. He has entourage for the regular wheel bikes, which is very important. We do know that the wheel bikes are special forces now. We've seen them. They have that overrun 2 attack, so you're going to be doing a lot of overrun attacks with the wheel bikes. And now with entourage too, or with entourage for them, this is a really interesting one because it means you can run like maybe just a single wheel bike with him and not have to worry about you have a little bit more flexibility there. But maybe you want to run like a lot of wheel bikes, and since they're 2 per unit, you can have a lot of bikes on your tabletop. This is kind of wild, right? I don't know if that's going to be too much. It seems so interesting and wild to me and so unknown. Like, am I really going to want to go all in on bikes, or do I want to just have a little bit? And then if I want to do that, do I then want to make a whole theme of it? Do I want to have like max wheel bikes for special forces, and then put like droidicas in there and just kind of keeping with the rolling mechanic, right? Like, how much fun would that be? Again, that's why I call it like the Wheels of Annihilation is what I'm calling the list for a max amount of balls and wheels in your balls. I don't know. But yes, so that's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it Wheels of Annihilation for max wheels and wheel mode. If you can build a list that way, maybe I'll do a tabletop Admiral list video on that one of these days. That sounds like fun. All right. He's also immune to melee pierce, and he is mobile, which is basically because he's not a repulsor vehicle. It's basically the equivalent of being able to take that extra move at the beginning or end. Though I think the rules are fully outlined for that already, but basically he gets a free move, which is really awesome. Especially when you've got overrun. He's got the trophy lightsabers, which is 5 dice for the overrun attack. It doesn't count as his normal shooting attack, so a lot of times you're going to want to be able to shoot and then move over them, right? And then hit that overrun attack. And the overrun attack is really a good strength here. It's got Pierce 1, Overrun 1, which is you're only going to do it once no matter how many times you run over them. Your Impact 2, Ram 1, so you want to move first at least once, right? And you have Scatter on it, which is also kind of fun, especially if you got people behind, because the other wheel bikes also have a front-facing laser cannon, although it's not as many dice. I think they have 2 per model that's still alive, so it's still a decent number of attacks if you can continue to scatter them and keep them out in the open. This one you got a red, 2 white, and a black, and fixed front, Impact 1, Pierce 1. You do have Surge to crit on him. You still have the red save. You don't have defensive Surge baked in. We've got grenades, which is so interesting on a vehicle. All right, I love a vehicle with grenades. Is just it's wild. It's just wild. That's all I can say. I think the play here is to maybe drop smoke. Like after you run in and you do all of your attacks, maybe you drop smoke so people outside trying to shoot into you. Or maybe you drop smoke on the people that you're actually in. So if they're trying to shoot anybody else, it's like, oh no, you better shoot me, because it kind of protects. Maybe you have a B1 unit that's only got a few guys left. You jump in, drop smoke, because the guys shooting out of the smoke are still going to, kind of have that penalty. It's harder to see outside. So that's my thought with the grenade slot, but maybe there's better grenade options for him. You got training, equipment, and command on him as well for 150 points, which is pretty cool. Also, you don't have to worry about suppression on this guy. There's no resilience either, which is also really nice. An 8 hull, only armor 1, but it's not too bad. We also have turbocharge. He can take this, or the regular wheel bikes can take this. When he makes a move action, he can basically go speed 3, but it's an exhaust, or it's a discard. So that's a one-time thing, but that could be nice. I don't know for 5 points if I'd want this on all my wheel bikes, because that's going to add up really, really quick. But I could see at least maybe this on Grievous. If there's somebody you're going to need to get into safety, it's probably going to be him. Or maybe if you're just running one wheel bike, you can give them both turbocharged. But if you're running the full Wheels of Annihilation, I don't know if you're going to want that on everybody. Now, this is General Grievous. I will point out the printed version here does not have the dot. I do believe that is not the intent. I don't believe for a second that the intent was to actually be able to say, well, we can run multiple General Grievouses because there's no dot, so I can run 2 General Grievouses. I don't believe that for a second. Would never actually, even though maybe rules as written, it's clearly not rules as intended. It's clearly supposed to be General Grievous, right? So yeah, but he is General Grievous, so you can't run him with regular Grievous, but you can run the command cards. So we got some cool command cards here. All right, so we have a 3, 2, and a 1 pip. We'll start off with the full throttle 3 pip here. This is Grievous and 2 vehicle units. It says when this unit's issued an order with this card, it gains a dodge token. That's always nice. This round, when a allied vehicle makes a move, after the effect is resolved, it gains a surge token. And that is going to be nice, especially in the case of like General Grievous, for example, not having defensive surge will be very much appreciated. So that's a good thing for your defensive purposes. And it's still a 3 pip, right? We also have the pincer attack. It's 2 vehicle units. This says this round, when an allied vehicle unit attacks, the defending unit does not benefit from cover if it's within 1 and line of sight of 1 or more other allied vehicle units. This one kind of goes along with the mindset of Grievous kind of going in first, having the turbocharge, kind of leading that charge. I feel like if you're running this version of Grievous, you have to play him aggressively, and you want to be right in everything. And that is really, this also combos really well with a playstyle that's going to have you running the original Grievous command cards, especially trained in your Jedi arts, that all of a sudden, boom, I'm going to move in, I'm going to shoot, I'm then going to do an overrun attack, and then, I played my 1 pip this turn, and so now I'm going to blasty everybody, right? And so a card like this can also work with that playstyle, which I like. And then we also have I'll Do It Myself, another 1 pip. You may choose an allied droid trooper unit within 1 of General Grievous. If you do, the chosen unit suffers a wound. He's getting mad. He's going to cut a B1 in half, right? And General Grievous gains tactical 1 this round. That's going to be nice, especially because he's got white dice in all of his attack pools. So free aims are going to be really helpful because he's going to be moving. He definitely wants to move. Yes, and then when he makes attacks this round, remove all aim tokens, dodge tokens, surge tokens, and standby tokens from the defending units during the form attack pool step. This is really the beautiful thing. This is such a powerful card in certain situations. It can always be useful, but it's more powerful against token hoarding shenanigans. Maybe Yoda's got a lot. You got some big entourage stuff going on. You got clones that are sharing things like crazy. Well, the clones sharing stuff, they'll still be able to spend adjacent stuff. But if you've got Yoda that stockpiles 6 tokens on him or something like that, boom, take a lot of that stuff off. There's a couple of examples, a couple list types that can really do a lot with tokens. This takes them all off beforehand, especially folks that love to have lots of dodges on them and spend their dodges and then get dodges back after they spend dodges. No, you know what? You're not actually able to spend it. I'm going to remove it before you even have a chance. This is a very cool card, and I'm glad to see how devastating it can be. It looks very, very fun. Let's go ahead and start putting this model together. So I've gone ahead and actually printed out the instructions really quick. The interesting thing about this, again, this is one of those more complicated kits that they've done. I'm not going to necessarily film every single bit of it, but if I run into problems, I will highlight those. So I'm going to basically just follow this entire step-by-step piece and kind of building out the wheel bike. I do like the overall approach here is that you're building the wheel bike assembly first, and then you'll end up with a completed wheel bike on the 3rd page. And then the 4th page, you're going to start building out General Grievous himself. You do have the option here to put the dual lightsabers leaning out, or you can do a joint arm connected to the staff. And so you have the 2 options. I will definitely go with the lightsaber option. I was a little annoyed at my version of General Grievous that's in Fortnite not having a lightsaber option. He only has the electro staff. So for my Star Wars Legion version, we're 100% going with that. The nice thing about it is you can put the cape on and attach the head. and then put Grievous in the wheel bike, and you do that last. So if you wanted to like magnetize it for some reason, or you wanted to be able to take him, put him in and pop him out for some reason, like maybe you're doing some hobbying or you're going to change some things up, you can totally do that. And this is what the finished model will look like. Let's go ahead and get to work. So one thing about step 2 right here, it was a little unclear to me how this really tiny piece goes in here. And in case you have the same problem, this tiny piece here is kind of like a steering wheel kind of thing. And I think it wants to go up like that. That's kind of how it should look. So just a mid-assembly note here, you can definitely assemble Grievous separately, and I think this is a great option, and you don't have to glue him in. He's kind of like one of the last pieces, so what I probably will do is kind of base and paint him separately, do sub-assembly painting, and this way I can kind of airbrush the whole bike, paint Grievous differently, be able to get all the different angles a little bit easier, and then kind of put him in last. But because the joints on the leg and the arms are so thin, while they're still kind of setting, you're going to want to make sure that the legs kind of get into the feet, because the feet do go in there. Although you don't really have to do that, but the instructions tell you to do that. We're kind of like right here on this step. And I did that, and I'm following the instructions. I'm like, I don't mind having to paint just feet. But yeah, you probably could have kept the feet off. But if you want them to align with the pedals and everything when you put them back in, it would be very possible for things not to line up correctly. And the same thing with like this gear shifter on this little ball joint right here. Just make sure everything kind of lines up and fits kind of where you want it before you let it all dry. Because again, that's with plastic cement, plastic glue. It's gives you a little bit of readjustability before it locks in. So that's my suggestion for mid-assembly. All right, we are done now, and he is together. I did not glue him completely in there. His hand should actually be technically on that piece right there. He should be just like that, but I kind of just set him in there for right now so we can kind of showcase him a little bit, because I am going to do a sub-assembly. I want to, or at least painting. I want to paint him separately from the bike. But man, this thing is cool. This is a really cool miniature, a really cool model. I haven't done in a while. I haven't done like, model miniature of the year or something like that. But like, I don't know if I'm going to do that again this year or not. But this one definitely is a contender for it, even if I don't do it. If I don't do it, then I'll just call this one miniature of the year. I don't know if it really is or not, because I've looked at some really cool miniatures. Some of the Warhammer stuff that's out there is really cool. The Halo Flashpoint stuff being pre-assembled is cool. Some of the Ninja Turtles from Unmatched are really cool. But man, this thing, I think this has got to win it, right? This is pretty cool so far. I've said pretty cool like 18 times. I'm going to stop saying pretty cool. All right, that is our look at General Grievous. Oh, I forgot to mention, he does also have the cardboard tokens here. You're having your Separatist and your sort of generic commander token as well. Not that that's a huge part of it, but I want to be complete. So that's everything. I love it. Very cool stuff. One of the best miniatures ever. Can't wait to get the rest of the wheel bikes. They weren't super hard to assemble. It was more intimidating to look on the outside. I think the model as a whole was done really well. The instructions were fairly easy to follow, minus that one little piece that was a little confusing. But hopefully, if you ran into the same problem, hopefully we squared you away. But he's going to be really fun. Honestly, my only criticism of this whole pack is just the simple little error, the lack of a dot on the General Grievous card, because there's already been a lot of jokes on the online stuff about you being able to run 2 of him and stuff like that. But we know it's General Grievous, so that's not even a major complaint. It's just like, oops, you guys kind of gotta watch for those things. But that's it. That's my only criticism. Otherwise, it's a fantastic miniature. I love the sideways kind of cant to the wheel bike. All right, I'm gonna pull him out for a minute. I love like the pose, how it's like rolling, and his slash that's coming out of it. I didn't have to put the feet in there either, but it's just probably gonna be a little easier to put him back in after he's painted this way. But This is the entire way that the miniature was designed, also just made for easy assembly, and makes for also easy sub painting. Like, this is just a really, really well designed miniature. So one of my favorite that I've ever seen out of Atomic Mass games, and that's saying a lot because they've got some really, really good ones, but this one is an absolute banger. So has me having high hopes for all the rest. And now the wheels of annihilation are in motion, and I think it's definitely going to be the type of list that I want to do more of because these are super fun. Although, gosh, having room for this many large bases, it's going to be pretty tricky. All right, that's going to do it for this video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing and help make this whole channel possible. So thank you for your continued support. I will talk to you later. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. The spice must flow. You can't take the sky from me. Cowabunga. So say we all, and always